Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for joining me today. I'm Spiguyver. This is Spiguyver Backpacking. With me today is, who are you?
I don't know.
JabberJaws. So JabberJaws is out here with me again, and today we are at the Lake Fort Smith Visitor Center right now, about to hit the trail. We are hitting the Ozark Highlands Trail. We're gonna do about 6 miles today. We've got a nice little campsite that Rain Man and I stopped at and ate. It's about 6 miles in, right along a little creek. So we're gonna go head down there and see how it goes. What do you think? You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Hey guys, so it is nice to be out on the trail, out for an overnighter. It's been a little while since we got out on an overnighter, and having Dylan or JabberJaws along with me is pretty cool. I've got some good new equipment I'm out testing this weekend. So I've got the hip belt on my backpack for this trip. So that's different than how I normally use my backpack. I usually have the fanny pack on there. So I wanted to try this way. Additionally, from Gossamer Gear, I bought a new pad that goes in behind my back for this one. And it has air holes and stuff in it. So it's supposed to breathe a little bit better, and so you don't sweat as much. So I'm testing that out. Got all new clothes on except for underwear and socks. So pants, shirt, new trail glove, 5 3D. I'm using those. I've got a new hammock that I'm testing out from Trailheads. So it's gonna be a good trip. Good trip, needed, both for my mental well-being and just to get out and get some tests, some gear in some real world situations. Cool trail we're on here. This is the Ozark Highlands Trail. Now I'm doing a section that we've done before that Rain Man and I have done, where I ended up with a ton of ticks. We did a fresh coat of permethrin. We've got Picardin on, so hopefully ticks leave us alone. What does it feel? What does it look like? Green fur. Does it feel like fur? Okay. It goes through? Cool. Cool spring right here. Wow, it's been really dry the last, I don't know, month or so. We had a really wet early spring or late spring, early summer, and then it got really dry and hot. Last time I was out here, this right here was all water we had to wade through. Now you can see up behind me, that way, upstream, there's still water. And I think over there, as we cross, we'll have to cross some water. But there's not a whole lot of water in here. So I don't know how the stream that I wanted to camp by, how that one's gonna actually be. But we're gonna keep going and find out. You having fun so far?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tired?
A little.
A little? Okay. Well, we're gonna keep going. You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. So we just crossed the entire river, and there was no water all the way across where we came across. There are definitely pools where there's still water, and some of it's still pretty deep. We just passed a guy who said that right over here, he just passed a couple of hogs, heard them, saw one, but there's signs in the woods over here and right here where they've kind of rooted. And you can see it up through here. Last time Chris and I, or Rain Man and I, came through here, this was up over our heads. So at least it's been weed whacked somewhat recently, so it's not going to be nearly as bad. This was all up ahead a little ways. It's all the stinging nettles, and it was stinging nettles over our heads, and it was painful to get through this area. And that's why on the way back we actually backtracked. There's a river that goes over that way that we walked down the river until it hit the river we just crossed. So we made it through that section, and we came to the next river crossing, and I'm standing right in the middle of what should be a river. And if I pan around so you can look both directions, it is completely dry. No water at all in here. So we'll see. Hey, armadillo. So on this trip, I've got some more wild Zora stuff that they sent to me to try out. Of course, I'm going to try out free food, that's for sure. So this is organic, real fruit snacks, no sugar added or preservatives. This one is an air-dried tropical fruit mix, mango, banana, and pineapple. You can see that there. For the entire package, it's 260 calories. 61 grams of carbs, 30 of that coming from sugar, 2 grams of protein. So let's see what it looks like inside. Okay. Wow. So you can see it is whole slices of pineapple, banana, got the mango pieces here.
Good.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. Here, I'm gonna have a piece of pineapple. You can't get any out. Here, I'll rip this one in half.
Yeah, that's good. Mango.
The mango is really good. I love mango though.
Mango's good.
It's actually all really good. Yummy. What do you think?
My favorite's probably banana.
Banana?
Mm-hmm.
More banana.
Thanks.
Can't waste it.
I mean, you can.
I love the mango. And they've got different flavors. So like I said, this one was the tropical fruit. I've got another pack that we'll eat tomorrow. And then I've got a third pack that's still at home. All of them are different flavors. And if they're half as good as this, something I would definitely take and eat on the trail. What about you?
Me too.
Yeah?
My favorite's probably, my least favorite's probably the pineapple. What's your least favorite?
Probably the pineapple too, surprisingly.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we just got here. We just got to our campsite, just past 5 miles. Didn't see the sign for 5 miles.
No.
It must be a little bit further up. But what's cool is I wanted this site because this is where Rain Man and I sat here and we ate a little bit and we filled up our water right down here. And surprisingly enough, this stream is running and there is water in there. So we have a great site right here. A couple little swimming holes, it looks like. Maybe one right down there. And then up that way there might be another one. We did bring the bathing suits. It's been a little bit cooler today in temperature. So it is low 80s, high 70s, low 80s. It was only supposed to get up to 80 today. I don't actually know what it got up to, but the humidity is 100%. I mean, it's been raining off and on pretty much all day. If you look down in the water, you can actually see the sprinkles on the water. We've been staying pretty much dry because of the trees, the leaves, the foliage over top, the cover. But it's definitely been raining. It's been a little bit wet. I'm wet from sweat. So who knows? Maybe we'll go in, maybe we won't. We're gonna take a look around and see where we want to set up, how we want to set up. All right, so let's check out how our camp is set up and who's sleeping where. Okay, so we've got the fire pit right here in the middle. Nice little area over here we could cook on. Got our little seating area over here with our sit pads set down. So I've got Dylan right here. So this is my 12-foot hanger tarp in the membrane from UGQ, as you can see right there, UGQ Outdoors. I've got some Myers Tech 1-inch blue straps, and they've got the Evo loops up there on the tree as well. Coming down to a Dream Hammock Sparrow. So this Sparrow is set up with both a ridgeline organizer and one of the slings, and it has a peak loft on that side. It's in the 1.6, and it's spread out down below from Walhalla Hammock and Outdoors. Jason sent me this really cool ground cloth with Spiguyver on it right there. So Dylan's stuff is down here. This is where he's staying. He's got plenty of room in here. This thing is wide open for him. For the pullouts, we've got the shock cord with the tarp worms some micro cord going down to MSR groundhogs on all 4 sides. Walk over to my setup, and I'm going with a very light setup here. So I've got the ASIM Dyneema tarp from Dutchware Gear. It's one continuous sheet. As you can see, if you look down the center line, there is no seam down the middle of it. It is just one sheet, which keeps the weight down. Then I've got the Myers Tech red, white, and blue pullouts, and these are really cool because you've got a Prusik here, and then you use a Beckett hitch, which I love, and it's got a button right there, so you just do a loop over the button to set it all up, and then I'm running it down again to a set of groundhogs. So you just need one on either side. I've got a continuous ridge line, and those are set up with loop aliens on either end, Prusiks to hold the tarp out, and here's another look at the loop aliens. And then what I've got here is a brand new hammock. Just got this one from Trailheads. So this is Trailheads hammocks. This is a 1.0 Hyper D. It is 10.5 feet long. I went a little bit shorter to pair it with this tarp so that I got a little bit more coverage with this tarp. This is a shorter tarp at 11 feet. And with it being this minimal cut, I wanted to make sure that I went a little bit shorter on the hammock to get a little bit better coverage. Now, when I lay in here, this ridgeline is up pretty close to the tarp itself, which minimizes the amount of exposure there. And because I lay head right, foot left, my body is in line with the cutout. So where I'll be hanging out is where there's more coverage. My feet will be pushing to the other side where there's more coverage as well. So this hammock, I went with some pretty unique features on this one. I only went with 3/4 of a zip on one side. So this is the head side. So my head will be down here. I normally get in my foot side, but I wanted this one set up a little bit differently. So it's set up, I can cook out of this. I've got my little Tyvek sheet down here. So I can lay in there, unzip this, and cook while laying in there if I want to. And because it's on this side, I'll have a little bit more coverage getting in and out. But that zipper only goes to there. Those are glow-in-the-dark zipper pulls. It's got a Monolite 1.0 ridgeline organizer with Prusiks to tighten it, and little mitten hooks there. I've got my, of course, I've got my ridgeline or my hang time hook in there for checking out any movies or anything while I'm in there. I've got the 0.5 olive bug mesh, and then I've got the Venom strap webbing from Myers Tech along with Evo loops up on the tree to round out my suspension system. Was using the Light AF pack this weekend with those full-on hip belts there. This thing is pretty awesome. Dylan was using his custom Zimmer built one, which works out really well for him. It's got those Justin pouches. One is a water bottle pouch right here, and on the other side we have the phone pouch, which he uses as a snack pouch. Also, because I was doing multiple setups and I wasn't sure how I was going to stake everything out, I've got the stake roll, which I actually have some extra cordage in here, and this is from Trailheads as well. So you can put everything you need in here and roll it up, and it's a one-stop shop once you're out here. As you can see laying in here, I am completely under the tarp. Because of the angle, I've got plenty of coverage here. Now, if you're in a thunderstorm or anything like that, this could get a little bit dicey. But I think for just a light rain or any normal rain, this is going to be just fine. Works pretty well. I could either lower the tarp or raise the hammock. Because I've got the hammock at a pretty good height, I could lower the tarp and provide a little bit better coverage, just so that I know that there's a little bit less angle there. That's all. But I think for those trips where you don't expect any significant rain, any significant storms, this is a great, extremely lightweight setup to go with. It's kind of that just in case tarp. guys, for dinner tonight, I've got another meal from Wild Zora. Used to be Paleo Meals to Go. But this is their bedrock beef chili. I've had this one before, but they contacted me, they reached out and they said, hey, we have changed the formula again, and we think you may enjoy it a little bit more now. So I did not bring any extra spices, anything else to spice it up after making it up. We're just gonna make it the way that it says here on the back. Got 36 grams of protein per serving in this. Serving size is 1 package. It's 420 calories, so that's quite a bit of protein in there. And for those of you who are looking to eat clean and paleo out on the trail, this is definitely a way to do that. These meals, all the stuff that they do is really clean, really good stuff. You know, nothing on the ingredient list that you can't pronounce, which is a rarity with a lot of the freeze-dried meals that are out there. So this one, just add water, eat it right from the pouch. Let's see, how much water on this one? 1.5 cups. It says approximately 1.5 cups directly into the bag. Let it stand 5 to 15 minutes. Mix well, add salt, pepper, and ghee to taste. Eat and enjoy. Well, I didn't bring any salt and pepper, so we're gonna eat it the way that it is. And I've got a second one that maybe we'll do up another time with some spices to see if that changes anything with it. So this is what we're doing for dinner tonight. Okay, since we're doing both of them together, I've got almost a full pot of that 700 milliliter. It's almost to the top right there. So we're gonna know when this thing's boiling, when it's hot enough. But this should be enough in here to do both my meal and his mac and cheese, and there's probably gonna be some left over just in case he wants to do a second one. So what we're gonna do is get this one started. Get that on. And we'll come back when we got this thing done. Okay, so I've opened this up to pull out the oxygen absorber in there, and I wanted to show you guys what this meal looks like. So in there, you can see all the chunks. I mean, if I put this in my hand, it is like solid chunks. Look at that chunk of meat there. Let's see, what do we got? Some potatoes, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, bell peppers, carrots. I mean, lots of good stuff right here. But I can smell. It has a lot more smell, a lot more seasoning I can physically see on there than it has in the past. All right, so we've got a boil going on. Turn that off. And what I'm gonna do, can you bring me over that cup? Or actually toss it to me. Okay. I know this 450 milliliter. I know where to fill that to be 12 ounces. Ow, that's hot. So right there is 12 ounces. So that's about 1.5 cups. Put that in. And toss me my spoon. Oh, missed it. Give it a good stir. Stir it up, get all the corners. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and seal this up, set it off to the side. All right, toss me one of those. Mac and cheese Star Wars edition for Dylan. Take this out. Fill her up to the line. Set this aside. And we're good to go. Okay, so we're gonna give this a try. It has rehydrated. Gonna get a little bit of everything in here. Let's see. Good chunk there. All right, so here you can see this one. Got a big chunk of meat there. Potato. I'm not sure if that's carrot or sweet potato. Some celery over there. got a whole lot more seasoning. Look at that chunk of beef. That is a big chunk right there.
Can I have a try?
Mm-hmm. A minute.
Okay.
Whole bunch of good stuff in there. This one I got a little bit more of the juice from down in there just to see how that. Not bad. I don't know how much you're gonna like it, but you can try it. Hot. It's definitely got a lot more seasoning. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So I'm just about done with this. And I've got to say, one of the things I really, as I get further down and it's had time to sit, the flavors have kind of blended together and are really good. The other thing that I really like about it is that even though this has been sitting here, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, it still has texture to it. There's different textures, the different pieces. You can taste what is the meat. You can feel what's the meat. You can feel what's the potatoes. And then, like the peppers and the celery are actually still crunchy. And so you get a lot of great textural context there as you're eating, which you can see that's all that's left. I'm really enjoying it. So I discovered something tonight that I thought I would share with you guys. For anyone that's taking kids out, almost every kid out there loves Easy Mac. You know, those little cups of mac and cheese that you put water in, throw it in the microwave for 3 minutes and it's done. Well, I brought some out here tonight for Dylan, and I brought two out here just in case he wanted both of them. The first one, what I did was I boiled up the water for my meal, put it in my meal, and then put the water in his. Let it sit for about 10 minutes to, you know, soften up those noodles because they weren't being boiled. And what we found was they ended up turning pretty much to mush. So the second one, I actually dumped it into the 450 milliliter, boiled it for about 2 minutes, took it off, put it back into its cup, put the cheese sauce stuff in there, stirred it up, and it turned out perfect. So if you're going to do it, boil for about 2 minutes, cut it off, pour it back in, put the cheese sauce in, and you're done. Otherwise, you end up with a mushy mess. Dylan still ate both of them, though. Or JabberJaws. Morning. Slept pretty well in this new hammock. Good night's sleep, really. Comfortable. And I wanted to be able to do this. I wanted to be able to push myself back, get on my head side here, and be able to whip up a cup of coffee without getting out of the hammock. Just lay here. Get it done. I don't need it boiling. I've already filtered the water, so I just want it as warm as I would want my coffee to be. So it's already getting there. Still a little warm. You guys, all right, so this is the pad that I got from Gossamer Gear, that Airlight pad that I had mentioned, that I'm using as a back panel. I'm also using it as a sit pad while I'm out here. It's supposed to breathe a little bit better, and so your back's not going to sweat quite as much. And I will say, I think I noticed that. It'd probably be easier if I had both and was able to do like a side-by-side, a few miles with one, a few miles with the other. So that may be what I need to do to really decide whether or not this does meet that. So you've got this side, which would be against your back, and in here is a yellow foam that has a lot of holes in it. Now it's pretty firm. It is. It's a firm material there. And then there's the mesh on the outside, and so it breathes through. But the back panel itself is a pretty, I wouldn't say hard, but it's a little bit more rigid, and it's not permeable. It's not mesh like this side. Now, what I have noticed, and you may have seen it when I showed with the backpack on, this is not staying put. It's sliding up a little bit as I hike. And so what I'm going to do is put like some silicone drops on here, like some seam grip or something, maybe some lines of it, to keep it in place on the back pad so that it doesn't move around, so it doesn't slide up as I'm hiking. I messed around with the strap system that I have and kind of put a couple of them over the top, and that helped a little bit later on, but I think that having something to keep it from sliding would be probably the best bet. So that's what I'm trying out. Does work great as a sit pad as well. So just another option that you've got if you are using a frameless pack and want to go with something to give it a little bit more rigidity. All right, so we're heading down the trail right now. It's been a good morning. Dylan's behind me. JabberJaws is behind me, doing well. He seems to be moving at a quicker pace than he was yesterday. Only downside to this morning is all of the spider webs. I mean, they are everywhere. It's just a constant stream of them. You know, we ran into some yesterday, but I think it's even worse today. That's okay. How you doing, kid? Good. Good? All right, let's keep going.
And since it takes a really long time to break, if you also have a trap.
What's kind of cool is we are back at the dry riverbed, and we saw, you know, we came across right over there, and we saw the water over here, and I was like, that water's got a current to it. If you look down here, it is actually flowing, but then it just kind of stops. So it must go underground, under the riverbed, and come out down there. I saw a guy down there probably fishing, but it's kind of cool. It has a current right here. Bunch of little fish swimming around.
Is something if you kill is to kill the Enderman, make a little base. They'll try to help you to kill the pillagers. It's probably a dog, because not only are they cute, but they actually help you in the game too.
So JabberJaws and I just finished up. Just did, well, a little over 5 miles today, and we didn't take any stops, any breaks. Wore him out a little bit. Ready to get in the truck and sit down. Yeah. Well, I thank you guys for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the adventure. We had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah? Was it better than playing Minecraft?
Nah.
Nah. Oh well. I'll take what I can get. All right, I'll see you guys down the trail.